Welcome to Valkyries Courtside Report.
Whoa.
Now, with some production quality, we're trying our best. It'll keep getting better, but here
Look at
we
the
are.
violet. The violet's so crazy. It's awesome.
I designed
Wow.
it so you won't bully me. My name's Marisa, Ingemi, ValkyriesBeat.com. Nathan Canilao is here with me, Bay Area News Group, and then we have Kenzo Fukuda from Clutch Points and James Kenny from SF Standard, and there's no Golden Gate Bridge in the background today. We have to learn how to transport that over here too, I guess.
We'll get it back. Don't worry.
We'll get it. We have Valks coming off of a really good win against the Atlanta Dream, a 77-66, a game that, like, I'll be honest, I did not think they could win against this Atlanta team. I think very highly of the Dream. Like, to me, I think they're the best team in the league. So I thought it was a very impressive win, but we'll just kind of go around the horn here. Nathan, what did you think?
Yeah, honestly, I thought this was one of the. I wouldn't say it's like their best win of the season, but it was one of their better wins, especially considering I've always felt like Atlanta presented one of their worst matchups in terms of like who's on the floor, the size. We talk about like Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard, like their scoring, and even the player like Jordan Canada and Tahina Pow off the bench. He just had so much firepower that I was like, I don't know if Knox could hang. It definitely proved me wrong tonight. I thought the biggest reason they won was obviously Gabby Williams led them in scoring, but I thought Kayla Thornton had probably one of her better two-way games. You talk about ever since they went to the smaller lineups, she's had to sacrifice a lot of her scoring, a lot of her shooting. Tonight, I thought throughout the four quarters that she played pretty consistently on both ends of the floor. So good to see KT back. Ketchy had a really nice game. 14 points, and I thought LA brought them another spark off the bench that they really needed in the second quarter. So overall, really good win, sets them up for Friday.
Yeah.
Play Atlanta again. So yeah, good win for the Ducks.
And Kenzo, what did you think about KG tonight?
KT was really, really good. I feel like the small ball, when they ran those lineups, it lended to KT getting some good looks there. Especially in transition. I thought Gabby, like, this is the thing, we haven't talked about Gabby too much. She's really good at finding the open person in transition, and she found KT a couple times, whether it was like off the swing pass or like cross court, like one-handed pass. Like, I think she gets that from her point forward background at UConn. And it was really on display tonight, and KT was the beneficiary. So good to see that from her. I think, like, we've been talking about how her legs haven't been under her to start the season just because they've had to use her at the five, and she's been playing so many of these tough, grueling minutes. But tonight, like, it was really important that she was hitting those threes because it made Atlanta pay for the bigger lineups, and especially in that fourth quarter when things weren't going, they were able to find KT for some open looks. So it was a good night for her, and they're going to need her to stay on track if they want to keep this up.
Yeah, I liked actually what Kenzo said as we were walking in here. This wasn't their best win, but it was like probably their most needed coming off of a two-game losing streak. Those are tough performance in Vegas, and it's a tough stretch right now, like extending to Friday, Sunday, next week even. So coming out the way that they did, I think they should be really happy with the first three quarters. I think the fourth was kind of slipping up a little bit. Atlanta really took over the momentum, but to come out and hold a team that averages like 90 points per game to 66, I think they have a lot to be pleased with in shutting down kind of their really efficient guards, and they have a lot of size too. So it was a good win.
Yeah, I want to get into the defense in a second, but first, Kenzo, I'm curious, what did you think of the shot quality tonight?
Yes, the shot quality, the big question with the Valkyries. I asked Natalie about shot quality today because I wanted to show her that I'm not going to ask that just in the loss. It's important to ask that in the win also because while they went 15 of 32 from three, there were stretches there where you could see the offense stagnating because the shots were tougher and they were getting cold. That fourth quarter, they started 0 of 7, I believe. And even in that second quarter, I remember like there were just 4 straight possessions of like one-on-one basketball that didn't go anywhere. I think Veronica bailed herself out of one of them, but for the most part, it wasn't working. So I asked Natalie about that. She said a very similar answer: control what we can control. That's the defense. But she did say like they got out in transition, which is correct. Like that's when Gabby and KT were really deadly. So I think the key to the Valkyries' offense this early portion of the season has been get in transition, early offense. When they're scrambled, that's when they're at their best. It's when the passing really feels potent, and maybe less so in the half court. But even tonight, like they ran some really good sets. They had that one. There was a couple. There was a flare screen for Gabby and Chechi. I think they ran a couple times in that first half, and it led to good shots. So I think they're working on getting more off-ball action in their half-court offense, and I think it's going to lend itself to some easier offense moving forward.
I agree with what Nathan said too, just about KT and just kind of like her impact when she can like space the floor the way she did tonight. I think it's just like a different kind of. She's shot I think 5 for 10 from
Yeah.
3-point range. Like that changes the offense a lot when you have someone like her who can. Because like I think one of the biggest problems with this Valkyries offense this year has been that like they built this team and planned on Ileana Repair being that stretch 5 for them.
Yeah.
And then when they didn't have her, like they just lost a whole lot of like dimension they were building around. So how important do you guys think it is for KT to just like have offensive games like this and kind of kickstart that offense?
I think it's super important. I mean, you look at just the way that they're structured, they kind of need to have 5 players who at least can threaten you to shoot the ball, right? Like,
Yeah.
when Kia starts, like that changes a bit because they gotta go a little defense to open the game. But I do think like in those crucial moments, when teams kind of scheme to, when Kia's on the floor to kind of scheme her out of the game, you need to have someone who could bring in that could at least bring a different dimension. I thought tonight KT brought that, and it was not even just like the fact that she hit like 15 of her 17 points with threes. I thought they were all timely. Like whenever
Timely.
they hit it, she hit it, and so that's something that we haven't really seen honestly from KT like the last 2 or 3 games. I think she's really struggled to really adjust to this. But Gabby alluded to like what she brings, like when she can play a 3, the 4, the 5. It gives them another dynamic to their offense, and I think just that I think as she kind of recovers, still is not really recovering, but like still getting used to like playing off that knee injury. I think if she could kind of, the next step for her, for me at least, is like to attack those closeouts once she can consistently hit threes, but she needs to kind of establish that first in the next couple of games. But I thought KT, I mean, she's always been a big piece of this offense. If she can continue to be KT and be this type of player, I think the Valkyries can win a lot of these games like this.
It's funny because she really, and this is a little bit different than what she was last year. She was like kind of the star, a little bit of the engine, just does everything. It feels like this year she's like this wild card where a lot rides on her being able to hit threes, guard the 5, play small ball 5. And it's a very interesting role. I feel like a lot of these games kind of swing depending on how she's able to get what she's able to give them, because it unlocks so much of what they're able to do. If she's able to have the stamina to bang those bigs like down low, then their defense is gonna hold up. But then if she's not, then you have to go deep in your bench. You have to maybe try LA a little bit more. You might have to play Kia Stokes a little bit more. So it's gonna be interesting to see like how she develops the rest of the season, because it feels like she's their wild card in terms of how high they can go in maybe the playoffs.
I agree with that. Jane, I have a question for you, but first we have a sponsor now.
Oh, what? I didn't even know this.
Promo code. Yeah, sorry.
I didn't even know this. This is a surprise.
Yeah, you can use a discount code to go to a Women's Premier Basketball Association game in Oakland at Fremont High School this week. Game 12 p.m. on Saturday, Alameda against Bay Area Phoenix. You can use promo code Valks Courtside if you go on their website, and you will get 15% off. So I will put that in the show notes, the link and everything too. But check them out for some really cool developmental basketball happening right in Oakland. So yeah, the discount code.
I would go without the discount code.
That's epic.
You
You
know
can
what I
have
mean?
a full weekend of basketball.
Yeah.
Use the discount code.
Use
The discount code helps us, I guess. But now you have a discount code on top of it, so bonus, you know?
Check that out. We appreciate the WPBA. So, Jane, I wanted to ask you a little bit about LA, because this is the 3rd straight game where LA's like played pretty significant minutes and looked good. She had a couple of really big blocks tonight. What have you just kind of seen from her making the most of this moment?
Yeah, I mean, Natalie's talked about in the past couple days just her, really earning her minutes and like fleshing out full effort in those stay ready games. And it's just apparent when she, gets on the floor, like she brings a spark and she like re-energizes that unit that she's with. It's whether it's big timely blocks. I mean, those are just like momentum swinging plays. I thought she was played great minutes. I think she only had like 6 minutes in the first half. I felt like she was super impactful, and then down the stretch she finished with 6 points. She was plus 12. Just a complete effort, and I was happy to see kind of that performance. It was interesting they used Janelle Salon a lot less. I think it was just kind of a match. She only played a little over 10 minutes this game, which is kind of atypical for her. Usually, first one off the bench. But I think matchup-wise, just having Leticia out there is so important. She's, mobile. She throws a different look, a different body than Kia Stokes. And we saw, down the stretch how it was important as, I think it was Okot who got going. They did put Kia Stokes back in, but I think for LA just being a rim protector and just reliable on the help side is huge. I thought she played really well defensively.
Yeah, and Medina Okot, we talked a little bit about her after the Vegas game as someone to watch out for. I saw her, and I mean, you guys as Cal Bears, you're familiar with her because she absolutely destroyed Cal and Mississippi State in their NCAA tournament game a couple of years ago. I was there. It was actually just like, who is this girl? So she's, I think she's only playing like 9 minutes per game, but she's been pretty impactful. But do you see an adjustment against her on Friday? Because it seemed like she really was getting going, and they were able to survive because they had the lead that they did. But like that size and that matchup still is a little bit concerning.
Yeah, I think what if I was kind of in that Atlanta coaching room, I think Smexco is probably going to go to I think she's going to go to Okada a little bit more. I also think they really didn't play inside out like the first half. It felt like it was a lot of Jordan Canada, like a lot of Ryan Howard going to the rim, whereas what I think worked for them in the fourth quarter was going to Okada, going to a certain degree playing off of Reese in some of that mid post action. I 100% expect Smesco to make that adjustment and do that earlier. I actually thought Angel, you look at even that first possession, I think she had 4 offensive rebounds to open the game.
She had 5 rebounds in the first 2 minutes.
I mean, I also don't expect Angel to go 3 for 12 again. I think she'll make an adjustment. So if you're kind of looking at it, I mean, the adjustment to the adjustment, I'm assuming for Natalie is look, like you even said, we got to keep them off the offensive board.
Yes.
I think they're going to make more of those reload threes. Angel will make some of those bunnies at the rim that she didn't make today. So, obviously still things to work on for the Valkyries, but there's going to be some interesting adjustments, I think, on Atlanta's side as well.
Yeah. Also, if Atlanta makes their free throws, this is a different game.
Oh, yeah.
They were 12 of 22. I mean, obviously they were getting themselves to the line, which is dangerous. I think, that's an adjustment the Valkyries will have to, make, especially when guarding those post players inside.
I think LA is going to be part of the Valkyries' adjustment to the adjustments they're going to predict. I just think, just from an energizer standpoint, we talk about the crowd. The blocks that LA gets are some of the loudest cheers that the Valkyries have. That is when the building is rattling this year, and that matters. That kind of matters.
I love LA.
They really do.
It's Cape Martin 3 last year.
Yeah, an LA block is a Cape Martin 3 from last year.
3 things. It's an LA block, a Cape Martin 3, and a Caitlin Shen bucket. Those are the 3 crowd energizers.
And they don't have one of those right now because they're not on the team anymore. But one more thing on LA, I feel like Natalie is also with LA saying to players, us, whoever's questioning the rotation, you have to bring maximum effort. You have to play with this type of energy, and you will see the floor. Because at practice the other day, we're watching them huddle up, and we hear Natalie say very loudly, if you don't talk in the game, communication-wise, if you're not talking, you will not play. And she said that loud enough for us to hear. Usually she's whispering that stuff. So part of it was is she talking to us a little bit? But I think the message with LA and just how to frame the Valkyries rotation as a whole, who's playing, not playing, is you have to show maximum effort in her eyes. So that's something that I think is interesting to monitor with LA and the rest of the roster, whoever interchanges up and down.
Some interesting insight I just want to give. I mean, me, Jane, and Kenzo were at practice yesterday. We actually got
Not me.
Yeah, no, sorry, Marisa. We got to watch a Stay Ready game, full Stay Ready game, 40 minutes. 40-minute Stay Ready game. I don't know. I mean, that's probably intentional to me, but whatever.
It's a message, a little bit of message.
They've never done that before.
They don't do that. They don't do that.
Center. We did it. It was shorter, but they did it one time. But I would like what you could see from that, it is intense, it is 40 minutes of straight basketball, but you could tell, I could tell, at least from my observation, LA was going to play from that. You could just tell she was all over the place.
Yeah.
Offensively, and it's a stay ready game, so they're not running. like they had Nadia Fingal playing the 3, like so like not really, it's not
Perfect.
natural.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can just tell like LA does a lot of like when Natalie talks about she does these things in state ready games, you can see it, and I think that kind of bleeds to other players. I mean, I think that's what she's looking for other players who who maybe are not playing the night this on a certain
Who's
night.
not playing?
I don't know. I
Well, I know he's not playing, but is giving a crazy amount of effort in those stay ready games, and that's Mila Soa. Mila Soa, it looks unbelievable in
She
these games.
runs that floor.
Oh my god, like it's
You can tell the way that Natalie talks about her, even like in the preseason. Like she like went out of her way all the time.
Yeah.
like it's crazy. She's like going like 150%, and I think all these players are playing really hard. But Soa stands out in these stay ready games, which is very interesting to me.
Every time, like every time we've seen it,
Every single time. Like she's also draining threes. She's not just playing hard; she's playing well. So it's like very interesting.
All I'm saying is like they get an injury to someone in the backcourt. Like Mila Soa is very much in play to like 4 or 5 straight games. But I think you guys could agree. Like the stay ready games, you could tell like they do translate. I like the way that I saw it yesterday was LA was super energized to play in that game. She did a lot of the little things, and guess what? She played today.
Yeah.
So like that to me is kind of a sign of what Natalie has been kind of alluding to these past couple games.
And I asked Natalie today after the game, like, what you're saying about LA with this effort and everything, is that an example for everyone else? And she basically was like, yeah. Well, I think that does matter. I wish I got to see that yesterday. I was working on a different story that you guys will also like. So.
You also missed out on Natalie saying she's a Swiftie. She's a Swiftie.
I know. Jane, I want your take on this.
Well, okay.
What song was Natalie talking about?
Well, so she said that we were talking about communication and getting players to be vocal, and she was talking about her own journey as a coach, like starting 15 years ago, working on her coaching voice, how she's like, going crazy from the sidelines. She didn't always have that in her necessarily. Obviously, she was a point guard when she played, but she said she would sing/shout songs like in the shower or like when she's driving to practice, and said one of them was a Taylor Swift song. So if that does that equate to being a Swiftie? If it's, I mean, I don't know how dedicated she is to the art.
That was the first
craft
thing
of supporting Taylor Swift.
That was the first thing that came to her mind when she's like, "What did I do to practice?" Oh, Taylor Swift. So I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe.
She's a Rihanna stan because we hear Rihanna at practice every single day. I don't think I've ever heard Taylor at a Valkyries practice before.
It honestly kind of surprised me. I don't think I would have thought that of Natalie.
She didn't want to tell us the song though.
She loves 90s R&B too. I've walked past her coaching office here at Chase, and she'll be blasting, like Joe or Keith Sweat, and I'm like, oh. And Natalie got a wide variety of taste here.
Is there a Taylor Swift song that really emphasizes like deep vocals, like breath training?
15 years ago.
Okay.
I think like the genre of Taylor Swift that's like angry, going on and on and on. Like she like
Reputation.
Yeah, she like talks in like run-on sentences, like.
So
Bad Blood?
And I'm gonna try to like maybe write about this. I don't know. My theory is that the song was mean from the Speak Now album.
Okay.
That feels like when you can yell a little bit, and like I don't know, it feels like just corny enough where you wouldn't want to say it, but also like fits the vibe. That's my theory. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'll take some investigative journalism, I think,
I'm
to
working on
cover
it. That's the
that.
next investigative piece for me.
What about like Forever and Always? Is that what it's called? It's like an angry one. Do you know that one?
I don't know that song. Sorry, guys.
They asked about Bad Blood. I think Marcus Thompson.
Yeah.
Marcus asked about Bad Blood, and he was like, I'm not telling.
I'm not
I thought
telling you guys.
No, that was a straight up no.
Yeah, I think it's probably like a mainstream one that you can
Sorry,
get.
Bad Blood lovers.
Romeo and Juliet? Like, what would you be embarrassed about to admit to the public? I'm trying to think.
Love Story.
Love Story. Yeah. Love Story. Not Swiftie.
Valkyries communication specialist Christine Jacobson, shout out, is like a huge Swiftie. So
I identify this.
it made her day.
We might have to
I
consult
wasn't there, and she's texting me like Natalie's a Swiftie, and I was like so mad I wasn't there. Sorry to deviate into this for people who like do not care.
Well,
I feel like a good
I
part
was
of
gonna
that.
transition us into something that I don't know.
Do
Like,
it.
I feel like it's a little more serious, but I thought the other like interesting thing that she said today pregame. We did ask about obviously Friday night is going to be Pride Night.
Yep.
We're coming off the heels of like the Giants kind of debacle of how they're handling their Pride Night.
A mess, complete
What
mess.
did you guys think about Natalie's response to like when we were asking her about like just the LGBTQ plus community, how thankful they are to have that presence here at Valhalla? What did you guys kind of think of her answer?
Yeah, so we've we phrased the question without involving the Giants. It was mostly just like, why is it important? What does it mean to you guys? And she talked about inclusivity. She talked about her own experience, not within the LGBT community, but feeling othered and outsider, and not knowing other Japanese Americans growing up, and emphasized like the Valkyries are a space of connection and unity and a place for everybody. So I thought her answer, especially in the context of what's happening with the Giants, was a good answer, and reaffirmed that the Valkyries are this place for the LGBTQ community, which I thought was important. That's really important right now because the Giants aren't doing that at all. Not really. Like, they're making it worse every day. So I thought it was a good answer. But what do you guys kind of think?
As the resident gay, I thought it was fine. Like, I thought it was good. I think Natalie's been really good about like being inclusive, and something I think the Valkyries organization has done very well is being like very intentional with their signaling, like overtly and not so much. Like, just from my note, talking to people who are season ticket holders or fans or whatever, like they feel very welcome. In ways such as like it's the way the Valkyries are just like outright like having queer performers and things like that last year the drag show at halftime, but also just even like the little signaling of like the lavender coloring and just like even some of the merch and things like that where they're like okay, like they feel seen. I don't know, I'm curious, other queer Valkyries folks, fans, spectators, if you have thoughts on that, I'd love to hear it as well.
Comment section, do it, put it down there.
That for Mission Local at some point soon too, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite Cheryl Reeve saying let's do it for the gays. It's like the most iconic press conference of the year, I think. Or even tonight, Natasha Cloud saying we won for the gays to tell Cheryl. I thought that was incredible.
I thought the other thing Natalie said that was important is like a lot of people in the LGBT community like also celebrate a lot of things with the Valkyries, and they have these big moments at Valkyrie games. Like I think people celebrate their anniversaries at Valkyrie games. People propose at Valkyrie games. So I think it's important that she was mentioning that and saying like this is a space for this community. So all in all, like good answer. It shouldn't be that hard, but it is, unfortunately. But yeah, kudos to Natalie. And we're talking to some of the players too. We've talked to a couple of players about it. They've had very similar good answers. So overall, good vibes from the Valkyries, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else. Like this, like organization is so intentional in pretty much every department you can be in terms of their buckets of fandom and knowing who their fans are and the communities that they're coming from and their partnerships and what these like sponsors represent. I just think it's a complete package of like, it's more than just a sports team. It's like, it really is like a community building like phenomenon.
In that sense, they're financially, obligated to kind of, be on a certain side of it, but it is like, they do a lot of community work, which is important. And I think that adds to the space they've cultivated.
And like the players, like they're out here in the community, like they're always. I think I was telling you guys, like Gabby Williams was in the cash room. Like I see Caitlin. I think Joseph brought up. He saw Caitlin Chen and Leticia Amir at the like a farmers market in like near the dock. Like stuff like that. I think it really connects them way more to the community than I would say I would say like any other Bay Area team, right? Like they are I think, the most connected team in the city.
They stayed here in the summer. KT stayed here all summer rehabbing and wanted to be in SF. So like it's they're entrenched.
Yeah, for sure. Something too, like the way the Valkyries are just so like woven into the fabric of the queer community in the Bay now. Like I was at on Saturday right before I flew to Vegas. I was at the Frameline showing at Castor Theater of the Brittany Griner documentary, and the Valkyries were a sponsor for that. So that was like very intentional that they're sponsoring Frameline in their 50th anniversary. For people who don't know, that's like the queer movie festival in San Francisco every year. And then it ended, and they were like, "Oh, sponsored by the Valkyries," and like the whole Castor Theater just started chanting like, "Let's go Valkyries!"
GSV.
Yeah, there's even like they had like an Instagram post that was like, "Here are the queer movies to see that don't conflict with Valkyries games," and it's just like it's such a part. It's like unspoken, but almost like a known thing that like this is who a large portion of this audience is, and we're going to cater to them in a way that's not othering, in a way of just like, we know the gays are here, and here's what we're going to give you, and I just think that's cool.
It's important.
Yeah, no, I'm glad this was like a thing that I'm glad Nathan and Kenzo, you guys asked about it tonight.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, especially because like the Giant stuff is just crazy and like
It's
hard.
a disaster. It's
It's
so
hard for me to fathom.
I'll be honest. I was not going to ask that question today until I saw what happened yesterday.
with Posey.
You know,
Yeah.
I knew Natalie, knowing Natalie and just the way that she has preached about inclusivity, not
Yeah.
just with her own team, but like with
Yeah.
the community. Like I knew she was gonna have a pretty good answer to this, so I expected nothing less.
Yeah.
But it is refreshing, I think, to fans to hear that they are actively, inclusive to all communities across the Bay, and I think that's really cool.
I also will add, it's like cool to see Natalie, especially in year 2, step up and recognize how she is
Yes.
like the face and voice of this franchise.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's something that people didn't really feel like Buster was, adequately representing yesterday. So just that she can own it and know, like, yeah, I have a responsibility to answer these types of things,
Yeah.
to say things and be the face.
I think it means, again, not to belabor the point, but I think it really goes a long way because I read these letters from Giants fans to the organization about how betrayed they feel and felt and like how they don't want to take their their families to games anymore, and like just having this reaffirmation of like we know it, but like saying it goes a long way. And I think what Natalie was able to say today goes a long way to fans. So all in all, I think we're kind of circling it, but like it was a good statement by Natalie.
Shout out to the gays. Courtside Valkyries reported it was for the gays.
Shout out to the gays.
The gays, yeah.
Pride Night's gonna be lit
gonna be-
on
I'm
Friday.
excited. If
Yeah.
you're going to be a Pride Night and want to be interviewed, by the way, hit me up.
Oh, yeah.
Because I am writing about that.
Marissa's gonna be on the comp course. She's gonna have a line like of people just waiting to get interviewed. It's going, yeah. You
You
guys
want
gotta
to
line
talk
up.
about gay stuff in the Valkyries? Like, I
Yeah.
am your girl. Back to basketball question. Something that's also stood out the past couple of games to me, and I think I forget if it was Jane or someone else asked Natalie before the game about Chechi.
Yeah.
The way she's kind of been playing lately, she's been shooting better. What do you guys think has changed in her game that's kind of like got her out of this early season slump, and now she's like a contributing factor, especially from the 3-point line where she was struggling for a while?
I think it would, for me at least, it looks like she's not as tentative, and maybe this is because
Yeah.
of the concussion, but it would look like early when she came back, like she was strictly on the perimeter. She did not want to like kind of go inside, and
Yeah.
it did feel like it had a tinge of like maybe she doesn't want to get hit again, which I totally understand. But I do think like now she's way more comfortable playing in that mid post,
Yeah.
like kind of using her footwork, bumping and grinding to get like that fadeaway off. I thought really that was kind of the difference in the last 3 games is she's way more willing to kind of be in closer to the basket, whereas
Yeah.
I thought like when you look at like games against Seattle and like when they were in that little losing streak against Minnesota and Vegas the first time, I was like, man, she doesn't really want to go to the rim. And
Yeah.
I think now it's a little bit different. And she's using that fadeaway pretty well. So yeah, I think Chechi, and it's allowed her to like go outside and go inside
Yeah.
and out. And so I thought tonight she did a good job of establishing that mid post presence, that fadeaway, and then kind of stepping out in the second half. I thought that was really good for Chechi.
I also think they're just more intentional about how they're using her. I think you saw that in the Aces game. Like they ran like a couple, just have her set the screen and then post up, which I thought. Like I think that's important to just get her involved and then start to incorporate her in other ways. I don't know if like the ISO stuff is what they should be doing all the time for her. I still think you need a little bit more ball movement, but I think they're starting to incorporate that. They use Gabby in the Chicago actions, the pin down in the corner a lot. I think they're starting to realize like we can also run this for Chechi, which goes back to what they were able to do last year with her, have her run off screens and then build off that, go downhill, pull up, whatever. So I think the intentionality is also there, which helps.
We'll wrap shortly here, but first, before we go around to class, what are y'all looking for Friday night against Atlanta in the rematch? It's tough to beat the same team twice in a row. Like, we
Yeah.
talked a little bit about like what adjustments we expect from Atlanta, counter adjustments, but like overall, like Natalie was like pretty blunt tonight too, of like she expects them to come out angry after losing. What are y'all looking for on Friday?
I'm honestly, I'm looking for Angel to have a better game. I think she's going to. I mean, we talked to her a little bit before the game, and she recognizes like Golden State has a tough defense. They're physical. They know where they're going to be, and they're going to shoot the ball well. So what I'm looking for, honestly, from at least Atlanta's side, is like they're going to probably post her up a little more, be a little more physical to open the game, probably try to play a little more inside out. And then on the Valkyries end, like I'm curious to see, like, this is the first time we're going to, I look at this almost like this this back-to-back, and then the third game have it happening in 9 days from now or whatever. This is almost like a playoff series.
Yes.
Like, if you look at it, like, how is Natalie going to adjust to the adjustments? I'm really looking at that for Friday, because I think it's going to be very telling on how, like, obviously it's the regular season still, but, like, it is, like, kind of a playoff scenario.
Yeah.
Like, this is how playoffs are going to be. You're going to play on Wednesday, and then you're going to play Friday, Saturday, or something like that. So, really interested to see how she adjusts to Atlanta's adjustments, but I 1,000,000% expect Atlanta to punch a little bit harder to open the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the playoffs, viewing it as a playoff series is important because you could draw Atlanta. You almost drew Atlanta last year, and it's like a 3-game series. A 3-game series, I don't love it. I'd rather have it as 5 games, but that's the reality of the first round. So you got to learn how to win 2 out of 3. And if they lose tomorrow, like, I don't think that's the end of the world. You can get that next one, the 3rd game after the Liberty one, and then you can really evaluate it from there. But yeah, I think the Valkyries understand they're gonna have to make some adjustments. I think they also quietly realize, like, hey, 15 of 32, great shooting, can't rely on it. It has to be defense. They have to do the same thing they did tonight, holding them to, like, 66, like that is impressive. So I think they're gonna tweak how they gear their defense, expecting some changes from Atlanta.
Yeah, I also think that, like, I would expect, I mean, the Valkyries, I guess they technically lost the rebounding battle, but not by much, like, not by a noticeable
They didn't look like they got killed. Like, it was
margin.
good.
Like, they rebounded well.
Yeah.
I feel like Atlanta,
getting those offensive rebounds too. Like,
what was that?
a lot of it with Angel getting those offensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like those, like, me bounds or whatever.
The me
Like, she
bounds.
just, yeah, they had 12 offensive rebounds, which Natalie said she wasn't happy with. I mean, I feel like they didn't really convert a lot of those into
No.
like actual buckets, but
I mean, Kia and LA were holding it down
Yeah.
there for the most part.
yeah, but like, can you do that again?
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
what from this game went so well that you can actually, replicate and, like,
Yeah.
bring into a game that I feel like is kind of a different animal, because you have this team that's, like, just going to come out, like, way more intense, and it's like, a quick stretch, quick turnaround. Can you adjust to their adjustments? I absolutely agree with looking at it like a playoff series. Like, this, regardless of how Friday goes, like, it's a huge learning opportunity for the coaching staff on how you can, like, adjust to adjustments in a quick turnaround like that.
I think the other thing is, like, for the Valkyries, I think you can pencil in Gabby for, like, 18 to 23 points. Who's that second scorer going to be? Is it going to be KT? Veronica's been a little quiet. She had 7 assists tonight, but only 8 points. Like, maybe you want to get her going. Is it going to be Chechi? She had 14 tonight, but it was mostly on the 3-point line. So I think you got to figure out, like, who's the second scorer behind Gabby, and you might need a third. So I think that's because they only scored what 77 points. That's okay. It's not great. You need a little bit more offense. So there's some things to look out for.
Small rotation thing that I'm also looking for. I know earlier in the year they did kind of the platoon with Kia in LA. Now that LA has, like, I think pretty much got back in the rotation.
Yeah, she's back.
I think I would like to see if they go back to that, like it's Kia, LA, someone's gonna be on the floor. I know, like, the small ball is still working, but I do think, like, against Atlanta specifically, if, like, you're just better off doing Kia, LA, one of them's always on the floor, and then, if you need to spot KT a couple minutes at the 5 to allow her to be more of an offensive threat and not as tired down the stretch. I'm wondering if they're going to go a little bit more to that, especially even against New York. I think they can do that against New York too. Mm-hmm. So this will be a very interesting stretch, I think, for the front court to see how they respond to a couple of really tough, games in terms of, like, this physicality and rebounding.
One more thing before we do roll call. Caitlin Chen got popped in the mouth.
Yeah,
She's fine. According to Natalie, they cleaned it up. She went back in the game really quickly. She only played 5 tonight, but, like, she's fine for the most part. Natalie was a little mad they called a foul on her. I think she said, "I've never seen."
with her face.
She used her face to hit the elbow. Never seen that as a foul, so a little anger there. But other than that, Caitlin's fine and pretty tough to just come back in the game after that.
That looked nasty, and she came back, so good for her.
Yeah.
All right, Jane, what do you have coming up? Where can we find your work?
You can find my work on San Francisco Standard. I'll be writing off some games in this home stretch. I have a piece on Gabby Williams coming out later this week or early next week. So
Nice.
that's my most recent stuff you can find.
Nice. Yeah. The girl dad piece is must read.
Oh,
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
like go read that
Well,
one.
must look at the pictures.
Must. Oh yeah.
They're really cute.
Sorry, shout out, Jane.
Yeah.
Kenzo, what do you got?
I got Warriors draft coverage. If you care about Jax Lindeborg, let me know. Other than that, I got some Valkyrie stuff cooking up. Please read the Kylie Charles piece I wrote last week. I thought that was really fun to write. And yeah, definitely gonna write something on Pride Night, especially with what Natalie said tonight. So stay tuned for that, and yeah, go Valks coverage. Go Valks coverage.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Valkyries Courtside Report covered.
Yeah.
Then what do you have?
Oh man, it's been a busy week for me. It's going to be only busier in the next coming days. But tonight, obviously, I have my game story. Go read that. Go read tomorrow morning. I'll have a piece on KT, kind of her impact tonight and what she looks like going forward. I just wrote an Angel Reese piece about, if you guys didn't know, her and Natalie actually have a pretty cool relationship. So
Team USA.
Team USA. If you want to read about that, I wrote about that right before today's game. I'm going to be, I'll be here for the whole homestand. Unfortunately for me, I got to go from the homestand on Friday to Rockland, California for a high school basketball tournament. So RIP to my eyes and my sleep, but it's all good. So back Sunday for New York, and we're going to be grinding it out. So San Jose Mercury News, East Bay Times, Valkyries Wednesday podcast. If you want to check me out there too, all over.
Yeah, let's go support everybody's work. And then you can subscribe to ValkyriesBeat.com for all of my stuff. I'll have something off tonight's game. I have a Gabby story coming in the next couple of weeks. She told me today that her favorite Pokemon is Mewtwo. So if that means anything to you, please.
Purple, like Valkyries. Valkyrie, maybe Mewtwo's a Valkyrie fan. I don't know.
So I thought that was just like a great pick. So shout out to Mewtwo, I guess. And then I'll have something about potential roster spot additions with the 50s for her group stats at some point in the near future, and PWHL San Jose stuff coming soon as signings happen for the Mercury News as well.
Ooh,
because
what?
Right there.
What's that code again, Marisa? I forget the code for the.
Valks Courtside.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Game this weekend. If you just want to see a ton of basketball on Pride weekend in Oakland, it's at 12 p.m. You could go there and still make it back in time for the Dyke March on Saturday afternoon.
Nice.
So use Valks Courtside.
Fremont High School, is that where it's at?
Fremont High School.
Fremont High School.
Get early because ain't no parking. I've been there.
Valks Courtside. Valks Courtside. Okay.
I'll also be in the notes for the episode and on YouTube, new YouTube channel. So check that out if you're.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
But yeah, that's where you're probably watching this. And also the discount code will be in the Valkyries Beat newsletter for the rest of the week. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Happy Pride. Everyone have a fun and safe week, and we'll see you on Friday.
See you Friday.